Hello dear, thank you so much for joining my stream. Hurry up guys, start to write your name in the chat. Hi dear Brandy, how are you my dear? Thank you so much for joining my stream. I have a lot of respect of your joining. Thank you so much guys. Hurry up to write your name in the chat guys. Thank you so much Brandy. How are you Brandy? Thank you so much for joining. Pay your Zara, how are you, Zara? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Zara. I really appreciate and respect of you joining my screen. Samroon, how are you, Samroon? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Samu. Ayaz, how are you, Ayaz? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Lavi, how are you, dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hurry up guys, make the like and subscribing the channel. Shari, how are you, lovely Shari? Thank you so much for joining my stream, my love. I have a lot of respect of you joining to the stream. How are you, Matty? How are you, Matty? Thank you so much for joining my stream, my love. I have a lot of respect of you joining to the stream. My viewer, how are you, my viewer? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Hurry up, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. How are you, my fudge? Johan, how are you, Johan? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Johan. I respect of you joining my dear. Stala, how are you, Stala? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Stala. I want a lot of respect of you joining to the stream. Khaled, how are you, Khaled? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Khaled. Adway, how are you, Adway? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Adway. Where are you from watching, my dear? Please, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel. Clover, how are you, Clover? Thank you so much for joining. Please, guys, double tapping on the screen, guys. Increase the watching. You know, the double tapping on the screen is a must for the everyone. Please double tapping on the screen so the watching has been encouraged. Abdurraf, how are you there? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Abdurrafi, how are you, my dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Manu, how are you, Manu? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my love. Sarah, how are you, Sarah? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Sarah. Zoe, how are you, Zoe? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Eva, how are you, Eva? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Eva. Taylor, how are you, Taylor? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Taylor. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Maria, how are you, Maria? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Maria. Love to join, my dear. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat and make the like and subscribing the channel. Have a lot of respect of your joining us. Thank you so much for being there, guys. Hurry up to write your name in the chat. Maru, how are you, Maru? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Maru. Yeah, I am a Muslim. Zeb, I am a Muslim. Orange Zeb. Thank you so much for joining my stream, Orange Zeb. Thank you so much, Orange Zeb. How are you, Orange Zeb? Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. Pomani, how are you, Pomani? Mimi, how are you, Mimi? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Mimi. I have a lot of respect of your joining. How are you, my dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Axa, how are you, Axa? Thank you so much for joining my stream. To write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Apoy, how are you, Apoy? Thank you so much for joining my stream, my dear. I have a lot of respect to your joining. Jefferson, how are you, Jefferson? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Jefferson. How are you, dear? Thank you so much for being there. Tahir, how are you, Tahir? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. Amandik, how are you, Amandik? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Amandik. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat and make a double tapping on the screen. Tara, how are you, Tara? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Sonu, how are you, Sonu? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Sonu. Hurry up, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel. To write your name in the chat. Jari, how are you, Jari? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Jari. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Ismail, how are you, Ismail? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Etang, how are you, my dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Olan, how are you, Olan? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Olan. I have a lot of respect of your joining, my dear. To write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Harik, thank you so much for joining to the stream. Anna, how are you, Anna? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Rahul, how are you, Rahul? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Halloween, how are you, Halloween? Hello, dear. How are you, my friend? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Thank you so much for joining my stream, Mala. Thank you so much, Roy. How are you, Roy? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Roy. Davi, how are you, Davi? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Davi. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Colora, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Colora. Out of respect of your joining us. Ann, how are you, Ann? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Vania, how are you, Vania? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Welcome, Howling. Where are you from watching, Howling? Thank you so much for joining my stream, my dear. I want a lot of respect of your joining my stream. Mia, how are you, Mia? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Please make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Patton, how are you, Patton? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys. Crawling, how are you, Crawling? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Crawling. Out of respect of you joining my stream, my dear. Double tapping the screen, guys. Thank you so much, Sane. How are you, Sane? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Sane. Sanrika, thank you so much for joining my stream, my dear. I really appreciate and respect of your joining. Imna, how are you, Imna? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Imna. Ajan, how are you, Ajan? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Pani, how are you, Pani? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Pani. Abigail, how are you, Abigail? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. I have to respect of you joining my stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Leori, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Leori. Hannah, how are you, Hannah? Thank you so much for joining my stream, Hannah. I have a lot of respect of you joining to the stream, guys. Anaya, how are you, Anaya? Anaya, thank you so much, Anaya. Anaya, can you do a super chat on our stream, Anaya? Bahakti, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Bahakti. Larry, how are you, Larry? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Anaya, can you do a super chat on our stream, sister? Saleman, how are you, Saleman? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Please, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel. Carly, how are you, Carly? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Lucky, how are you, Lucky? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Lucky. Salman, I write your name, my lovely brother. To write your name, guys, hurry up to write your name in the chat, to making the like and subscribing the channel. Amna, welcome there. Thank you so much for joining our stream there. I have a lot of respect of watching my screen. Please do a super chat on our stream, guys. Ibrahim, how are you, Ibrahim? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Ibrahim. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for being there, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much, Pro Yuna, Ricard, and Obad. How are you, Obad? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Obad. I have a lot of respect of your joining. Sama, how are you, Sama? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Sama. Ephra, how are you, Ephra? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Ephra. Make the like, guys, and subscribing the channel. And every person have to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. I'm from Pakistan, my dear. Thank you so much for joining our stream. I want a lot of respect of you joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Samila, how are you, Samila? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Samila. Amy, how are you, Amy? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Ami. I have to respect of your joining, my dear. Satya, how are you, Satya? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Lisa, how are you, Lisa? Thank you so much for being there, my love. Iman, how are you, Iman? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Iman. No, how are you, No? Thank you so much for joining our stream, No. Hurry up, guys. Sajay, how are you, Sajay? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Sajay. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Domi, how are you, Domi? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Domi. I have a lot of respect of your joining. Itechi, Mara, how are you, Mara? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Mara. Yeah, guys, to write your name in the chat. Guru, how are you, Guru? Thank you so much for joining our stream, mother. Ashak, how are you, Ashak? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Ashak. Please write your name in the chat, guys. Romy, how are you, Romy? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Romy. Hi, official Amelie. How are you, Amelie? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Thank you so much, Amelie. How are you, my dear? Thank you so much for joining our stream, lovely Amelie. Pretty Amelie. Thank you, Amelie. Where are you from watching, Amelie? Osman, how are you, Osman? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Osman. Gojo, how are you, Gojo? Thank you so much for joining to this stream. Amelie, where are you from? Watching Amelie. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. I'm watching from Ireland. Okay, thank you so much for watching from Ireland, my dear. Amelie, can you do a super chat on our stream, my dear? Nabi, how are you, Nabi? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Halimi, how are you, Halmi? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Halmi. Please, Emil, I love you. So thank you, dear Amelia. Thank you, my dear. I'm Mia. Thank you. And thank you. Okay, no problem, Amelie. Thank you. Yomi, how are you, Yomi? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Harita, how are you, Harita? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Harita. Please, guys, to do a super chat on our stream. Race, how are you, Race? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Race. I have to respect after joining separate, and thank you so much for joining. How long did that take? I will be there for 2 hours, my dear. Thank you so much for joining our stream. Yara, how are you, Yara? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Yara. I have a lot of respect. Yusuf, how are you, Yusuf? Thank you so much for joining to this stream. Wow, thank you so much for joining. Amelia, where are you from watching, my dear? Saski, thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. Yeah, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel, to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for being there, guys. Marlena, how are you, Marlena? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Marlena. I have to respect after joining, my dear. Thank you so much, guys. Texas, how are you, Texas? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Faithang, how are you, Faithing? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. Alicia, how are you, Alicia? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Alicia. Hurry up, guys. Sagar, how are you, Sagar? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Adwa, how are you, Adwa? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Adwa. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat and make a super chat on our stream, guys. Ali, how are you, Ali? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Ali. Omari, how are you, Omari? Thank you so much for joining. Have a great name, Omari. And Shazil, how are you, Shazil? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. And you got on the board. Yeah, I have to get a lot of names there. Inno, how are you, Inno? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Inno. Please make the like, guys, and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Anton, how are you, Anton? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Anton. Mir, how are you, Mir? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Mir. Please, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel and do a super chat on our stream. Halmi, how are you, Halmi? Thank you so much for joining our stream there. I have a lot of respect after joining to the stream. Yeah, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Victor, how are you, Victor? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Victor. Mir, how are you, Mir? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Mara, how are you, Mara? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Mara. Yeah, and there is there was one. It's gone right now. Ronnie, how are you, Ronnie? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Ronnie. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Mir, I write your name, my dear. Thank you so much for joining once again, Mir. Please, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel and do super chat on our stream, guys, and make a small donation on our stream. Thank you so much, guys, to write your name in the chat, to make the like and subscribing the channel. I want to know from the array and the lolly audience, where are you from watching the screen? Yeah, guys, to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream, man. Hurry up, guys. Oh, no, write my names, please. Amelia. Okay, Amelia. Thank you so much for joining. Where are you from watching, Amelia? Thank you so much for joining our stream, my dear. Mia. How are you, Mia? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Where are you from watching, my dear? Texas. Thank you so much for watching from Texas, USA. From Texas, USA, right? Highland, how are you, Highland? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Highland. How are you, Highland? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Eva, how are you, Eva? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Eva. Hurry up. Amelia, can you do a super chat on our stream, my lovely honey? Emma, how are you, Emma? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Emma. Emma, how are you, Emma? Thank you so much for joining. I think, what do you say? I say, you are from Texas, in USA, from Texas, right? Horace, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Horace. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Dor, how are you, Dor? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Raj, how are you, Raj? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Dikesh, how are you, Dikesh? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Dikesh. Amelia, can you do a super chat on our stream, my dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, my dear. Regina, how are you, Regina? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Allah, hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Marlena, how are you, Marlena? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Marlena. Amelia, if you write us up, thank you, my dear. Amelia, can you do a super chat on our stream, my dear? Ajkone, how are you, dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Sarah, how are you, Sarah? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Sarah. I have a lot of respect for joining to the stream. Thank you, Amelia. You are here, my dear. Amelia, can you do a super chat on our stream, my dear? Click on the money icon. If you wanna can support, you have to do a super chat. And yeah, click on the money icon to do a small donation on our stream. Thank you so much for watching, dear. Hurry up, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel and do a super chat on our stream. Johnny, how are you, Johnny? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Johnny. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you so much, my love. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you so much. I have a lot of respect of your donation for the today, guys. Having the first donation on our stream, Amelia. Thank you so much. Wallah, you are a very kind, Amelia. Let me write your name by green pen. Looks that. Thank you so much. Amelia, can you do a super chat by my goal? So my goal has been complete. Thank you so much. Wallah, I'm going to giving you a blue of my screen. You have to always join our stream. Okay, my love. I'm going to write your complete name, Amelia Kasi. Thank you. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you so much, Amelia. Thank you so much. I have a lot of respect of your donating on our stream. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you so much, Mala. Thank you so much, Amelia. It's guys. Yeah, she has to donate our stream, guys. Make the heart for the Amelia, guys. Thank you so much, Amelia. Looks, Amelia, it's looking great, my dear. Thank you so much, Amelia. Have you like it, my dear? Thank you so much. God bless you, my dear, for donating on our stream. Amelia, I'm also going to subscribe you. I'm also going to giving you a blue of my screen. You have to always join my stream. Please don't forget to subscribing my channel. Okay, Amelia. Okay, Amelia, please just pinky promise you have to join my stream the next. Please, Amelia, sister. Hurry up, guys, to write your name. Okay, thank you, Amelia. Looks that I have to give you a blue of my stream, my dear. You are my team member. Thank you so much, Amelia. Can you, if you can easily make a donation by my goal? So I pinky promise. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you so much, my dear. If you can buy a goal and make a donation by my goal, my dear. Thank you so much, Doreen. How are you, Doreen? Thank you so much for screen, Doreen. Thank you so much, Doreen. Hurry up, guys, to make a heart for the Alimia, guys. She has to donate on our stream. And God bless you, Amelia. Thank you so much. Wallah, it's Nikki, thank you, Nikki. Welcome, my dear. Thank you. While I send a lot of respect for the Amelia, she has to join our stream and make a donation on our stream. And you know, guys, as only some are the kind people have to make donation on our stream. A donation is our reward. Amir, how are you, Amir? Thank you so much for joining. Amelia, you know that, my dear, that donation is our stream. When someone has to donate on the stream, so it's we have to get the withdrawal by the donation, and we have to surviving by the donation. And these are really having a very kind for that. Thank you so much, Amelia. God bless you. Healthy love, my dear. Ram, thank you so much for joining. Waste, how are you, Waste? Thank you so much, guys. Hurry up, guys, to make the heart for the Amelia, guys. Thank you so much for joining to this stream. If somebody can easily complete my goal, please click on my goal, guys, to make a donation for my goal. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Everyone to make a super chat on our stream. Zanjabil, how are you, Zanjabil? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Akram, how are you, Akram? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Akram. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Esther, how are you, Esther? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Esther. Welcome, dear. Welcome, Esther. How are you, Esther? Thank you so much. I lost your love for once. Sorry, I lost your love for 1 second. Thank you. My dear, having a lot of respect. Wallah, God bless you. Healthy love, sister Amelia. Have a great day. No, I mean, I lost your love 1 second. I lost your love 1 second. Okay, dear. If you wanna going, thank you so much for joining my stream. Thank you so much for donating on my stream. One have to join me to catch me and also to join my stream, my love. God bless you and be safe. I have a lot of respect of your joining, my dear. Thank you, Annie. Thank you so much for joining our stream, Annie. How are you, Annie? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. And Salon, how are you, Salon? Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, guys, if somebody can make a donation by the goal, please click on my goal, guys, to make a donation by goal, guys. Yeah, click on, and you will be showing Annie. Let me write your name. Annie is a name. I write the every name of the uh, uh, aunt. Yeah, there is an a lot of aunts. Yeah, you were talking about Emma. How are you, Emma? Thank you so much for joining, Emma. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. There is a lot of insects there, aunts. You know, Nafal, how are you, Nafal? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Nafal. Yeah, guys, click on my goal to make a donation by the goal, guys. Korestan, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Korestan. I have a lot of respect of you joining on my stream, guys. Thank you so much, guys. To click on my goal, guys, you'll be showing the 0 or 1. Click on the goal. You should have to click on to complete my goal, guys, if somebody can do it. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for subscribing, my dear, and hurry up to double tapping on the screen, make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. And thank you so much for being there, and really appreciate for the Amelia, guys. She has to donate on first 10 hours stream to make the heart for the Amelia. I have a lot of respect for joining or her donating. If somebody can donate on our stream, please click on this money icon to donate on our stream, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Moise, how are you, Moise? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Moise. Hurry up, guys. Do super chat on our stream, guys, to make a donation on our stream. If somebody can do it easily, please make a donation on our stream to write your name in the chat. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining to the stream. Welcome, dear. Welcome, Malali. Yeah, thank you so much for joining our stream. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Kalare, how are you, Kalare? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Kalare. I have a lot of respect of your joining, Kalare. Where are you from watching, Kalare? Alena, how are you, Alena? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Yours, let me write the name of yours. Alena, how are you, Alena? And thank you so much for joining our stream, Alena. Thank you so much, yours. I have a lot of respect. What is your name? My name is my name is Noah, but my account name is Afrain. She is on my sister name. Yeah. Amal, how are you, Amal? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys. Abdul, how are you, Abdul? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Abdul. Thank you so much, Abdul. Celia, how are you, Celia? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Celia. How are you, Celia? Thank you so much for joining, my dear. Hi, Lena. How are you? Hi, Lena. How are you, my lovely honey? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Hi, Lena. Thank you so much, Paresi. How are you, Paresi? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel, guys, and write your name in the chat and make a donation on our stream, guys. Yeah, to make a small donation on our stream, guys. David, how are you, David? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, David. To write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much, David, for joining my stream. I have a lot of respect. Eric, how are you, Eric? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Eric. How are you, Eric? Thank you so much for joining, my dear. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Watch time right now in Texas, Amelia. Thank you for making her, Hassan. Heba, how are you, Heba? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Heba. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Alice, how are you, Alice? How are you, Alice? Where are you from watching, Alice? Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Okay, let me write the Heba once again. No problem, dear. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream, guys. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Harish Shebor, thank you so much for joining, Harish Shebor. How are you, Harish Shebor? Harish Shebor, thank you so much for joining, Harish Shebor. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. To write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining our stream, guys. Yeah, guys, I really appreciate and respect of your joining. Hurry up, guys, double tapping on the screen, guys, to make us donation, to make donating on our stream. Lenta, how are you, Lenta? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. And yeah, guys, try to complete our goal, guys. To click on the goal and do a super chat by the goal. Alright, guys, I respect of your joining. Thank you so much for being there, guys. I really appreciate and respect of your joining, guys. Hurry up to click on my goal to make a donation by the goal. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Keep joining, guys, keep tapping and keep joining and keep sharing, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for watching, guys. 6 people is watching right now. Please, guys, double tapping on the screen to write your name in the chat, guys. Maher, how are you, Maher? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Maher. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat and make a donation on our stream, guys. Keep joining us. Amelia, thank you so much, Amelia. Amelia's sister, listen, Amelia, can you donate by the goal? You will be showing the goal. Yeah, there you'll be showing goal. Let me show you about mobile. Click on the goal to do a super chat by goal. It's also remain long on my screen. Yeah, it's remain long on the screen. And thank you so much, Fatima. Thank you so much for joining, Fatima. Fatima, thank you so much for joining. Amelia, I have a lot of respect. Wallah, God bless you, Amelia. Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Amelia. Holly, how are you, Holly? Thank you so much for joining my stream. I did a donation. Yeah, you did a donation, my sister. You did a donation. If you can easily to click on the goal and donate by a goal, so the goal has been complete. To make a donation, I think it's take $10. Holly, how are you, Holly? Thank you so much for joining, Holly. Sidra, how are you, Sidra? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Sidra. Zamora, how are you, Zamora? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Zamora. How are you, Zamora? Thank you so much, guys. Make the heart for the yeah, guys. To make the heart for the Amelia, she has to donating on our stream. Zamora, thank you so much for joining, my dear. And hurry up to write your name in the chat, guys. To make the like and subscribing the channel. We have a lot of respect of you joining us. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Please make heart for the Amelia. She is a very kind lady on our stream. My goal things not work. Listen, when you have to donate of a $10, then it has to automatically will be complete. Brazil, and thank you so much for joining to the stream, Basel. Yeah, when you sister, when you have to click on the donating of $10, then it's automatically goes to complete. Yeah. Brazil, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Brazil. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Tiff, how are you, Tiff? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Tiff. Hurry up, guys, to write your name and make the heart for the Amelia, guys. She is donating on our stream. Lizzie, how are you, Lizzie? Thank you so much for joining, my love. Thank you so much for joining my stream. I have many friends, Amelia. They are from United States, yeah, and from United Kingdom. They will also join stream soon. When they come, I will also to make the intro of them about you. And one is Jessica, and the other is Amy. They are very and they are very kind and like you. They have to join my stream and make support on my stream. Thank you so much for joining, Sarah. I really appreciate of you joining my stream, Sarah. Yeah, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream, and make the like and subscribing the channel, and to write your name in the chat. Yeah, guys, Sarah, I write your name, Sarah. Please, guys, double tapping on the screen to encourage the watching, guys, please. Jamie, how are you, Jamie? Thank you so much for joining my screen, Jamie. I have a lot of respect of you joining my stream. Kokal, how are you, Kokal? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Kokal. Thank you so much, Kokal. I write your name, Kokal. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel and keep donating. Eva, how are you, Eva? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Yeah, and keep donating on the screen, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the screen. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for donating on our screen, guys. Okay, Eva. Thank you so much for joining. You have to go to eat for the dinner. Take care of yourself. Have a lot of love. And this heart is only for you, dear. You have to join my stream and make a donation on my stream. God bless you. Clara, thank you so much for joining to the stream. Have a lot of respect, my dear. Thank you so much. Big love and big respect, dear. Thank you so much for donating on my stream. Having a lot of respect and always join my stream. Never forget me and keep supporting my dear Amelia. Thank you. Clara, thank you so much for joining my stream. Clara, hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for the likes and subscribing. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Yeah, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. Harista, thank you so much for joining to the stream there. Oles, how are you, Oles? Thank you so much for joining, Oles. Where are you from watching there? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Oles. Where are you from watching, Oles? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Saleman, how are you, Saleman? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. April, how are you, April? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, April. How are you, April? Thank you so much for joining our stream, April. Right, guys, to write your name in the chat, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Arkan, how are you, Arkan? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for joining, Shahir. How are you, Shahir? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Shahir. Hurry up, guys. EE, bro. EE, thank you, EE. Thank you so much for joining, my dear. I have a lot of respect of your joining. To write your name, guys, and make a donation on our stream. Yeah, guys, hurry up to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining my stream. Shevan, how are you, Shevan? Thank you so much for watching, Shevan. Where are you from watching, Shevan? UAE. Thank you so much for watching from UAE, Shevan. Happy to see you there. Thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe my channel, Shevan. I have a lot of respect of your joining. Shevan, can you do a super chat on our stream? Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Yeah, guys, I really appreciate and respect of your joining, guys. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining our stream, to make the like and subscribing the channel. Reshma, how are you, Reshma? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Reshma. Risma, okay, Risma. Thank you so much for joining, Risma. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. 3 people is watching right now, guys. Please make the like and subscribing the channel. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Keep joining us, keep tapping and keep joining and keep sharing us. Thank you so much for being there. Alison, how are you, Alison? Thank you so much for watching my screen. Where are you from watching, Alison? Thank you so much for watching my screen, Alison. Thank you so much, Sajida. How are you, Sajida? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Sadia, how are you, Sadia? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Dameter, how are you, Dameter? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Dameter. How are you, Dametri? Thank you so much for joining, my love. Dametri, where are you from watching, my dear? Thank you. Where are you from watching, Alison? Roshini, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Roshini. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat and make a donation on our stream. Wild God, how are you, Wild God? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Wild God. I have a lot of respect after joining to the stream. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining our stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. Daniel, how are you, Daniel? Bam, Washat ke Bam, how are you, Bam? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Thank you so much for joining our stream, Bam. Arman, how are you, Arman? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Arman. I have a lot of respect after joining. I am fine, my favorite YouTuber. Oh my god, I'm your favorite YouTuber. Wow, that's great. Bam. Thank you so much. Happy to see you there today, dear. Thank you so much, Mom. Nadav, how are you, Nadav? Thank you so much for joining, Nadav. Hurry up, guys, to write your name. How was going your day, Bam? Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. That's good, that's good. Kota. Hurry up, guys, to write your name. Tara, how are you, Tara? Where are you from watching, Tara? Happy to see you on there. Thank you, that's great, Bam. Happy to see you on there. How you do the dinner, Bam? Sweden. Thank you so much for watching from Sweden. Tara, can you do a super chat on our stream for the today's, my dear? I just accepted in the hurry. I just got accepted in the for UST EO. Just accepted in Harvard University. Yo, for what, Bum? I did not understand, brother. Hurry up. Tara, are you watching my stream, my dear? Tara, can you do a super chat for on our stream? Shane, how are you, Shanine? Thank you so much for joining. It's the best car in America. You are going, yeah, it's best car in America. So you have to accept it for being Emma. How are you, Emma? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. You have to select her for to getting an admission in our university. Sorry, Shanine. Thank you so much, Shanine. Yes. Oh my God. That's great. That's great, mom. That's great. Proud. Oh my God. Proud to. It's a proud for us. Really, because you are in a belong from a Baloch tribe. It's really proud for us. You will be on the our university. It's a really proud there. God gave you the more success in your life, bum. You have to tell your real name, bum. It looks different. And yeah, Daddy Gore, thank you. That's great. Really, I am. That's the happy feeling for us when our Baloch cabinet a member have should be on our university. That's Jam Heather Ilani. Okay, Jam Heather, you really it's a proud for us there. When our Baloch tribe person will be on our university. Ron, how are you, Ron? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Ron. Amir, how are you, Amir? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Amir. And that's great, Amir. Thank you so much, Zen. So, what's you doing right now on Portugal? Is Hyderaya. I am from Pakistan, Marlena. You are studying in Portugal. Okay. In which university? University. Tell me the university name. Afghanistan. Yeah. Walaikum salam from Afghanistan. Thank you. Kurdistan. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Kurdistan. You Pakistan right now. Yeah, I am Pakistan right now, my dear. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. To make the like and subscribing the channel. I have and that one that I got accepted in the high school. I am writing. Okay, I won the one. That's right. Or the high school I'm in right now. Have you do any job in the evening or in the morning? Nisa, how are you, Nisa? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Nisa. Kurdistan, not really. Okay. You have to settle with the family or in Portugal. You have to settle with the family in the Portugal or living with your friend on an apartment. Kurdistan. How are you, Kurdistan? Nasa. Okay, dear, I have to write it by mistake. Mom, dad, and my brother. Okay, wow, that's great. That's great. Your mom, dad have to already. Your mom, dad have to speak in at the Balochi. Yes, they do. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's good. What's you have to in the randomly on the house. What you have to speak? You have to speak the English to write to learn, or with the child. What does it have to do? Are they have to? Are you have to speak with English at home? No, I cannot. No, I can speak Balochi. Oh, that's great. That's great. Why I'm Rubin. I'm writing your name, my dear Kurdistan. I'm going to write your name, Kurdistan. How many are you all, other? Kurdistan, Kurdistan, Kurdistan. We have to speak. I am fluent in Chinese, Balochi, English, Portugal, and Urdu. Oh, that's great. But our my English is very weak, you know. I 17 year old. I have fluently speak the Balochi because I am from Baloch tribe. So I have to fluently can speak it. Urdu is, is our mother language. I have to speak I have to spoken in Pakistan. So, but English is not well. I have tried to speak. Lily, how are you, Lily? Thank you so much for joining to this stream. There is always have to US and UK people when they have to join. I have to try to speak by Urdu or any other languages, Punjabi, Saraiki. I will also to lose my viewership, and then all the Pakistani will be on there. And did the light just go away for you? What do you mean? Are you going right now, Arman? Thank you, Arman. Okay, you are doing okay. Lily, where are you from watching, Lily? Light outage. Light just. Florida. I'm trying to read it. How are you, Florida? You are living in Florida. Oh, that's great. Yes, couple, you should do a super chat on our stream. You are watching from Florida in the USA. Florida is the state of USA, and now Chile. Okay. Or you wanna last? Okay. I understand. You have back right now. It's mean. समझ आपको Archie, how are you, Archie? And thank you so much for joining. As couple, you wanna to do a super chat on our stream as couple. Archie, how are you, Archie is a bullet or you know bum. Archie, Chebitka. Jisco, how are you, Jessica? Supra, how are you, Supra? You are really a Superman there. Supra, how are you there? Thank you so much for being there, my dear. Supra, you do a super chat on our stream, Supra. Really happy to see you on there, dear. Thank you so much for joining our stream, Supra. Asaf, hi Asaf, thank you so much for joining. Johnny, how are you, Johnny? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Johnny. Supra, you do a super chat on our stream, Supra. Alex, how are you, Alex? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Marek, how are you, Marek? Thank you so much for joining. I met a okay, dear, okay. Marek, thank you so much for joining to the stream, Marek. Lisa, how are you, Lisa? Somebody to do a super chat, guys. Then I will be go off. Yeah, I am waiting for that, guys. Please keep supporting, guys. That's not alright, guys. I'm from there 1 hour 20 minutes. I'm from there, but I did not have to guys support on today, guys. Please do a super chat on our stream. Then I wanna go from there, guys. Please to make a super chat on our stream. Angela, how are you, Angeli? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Angelique. Thank you so much, guys. Hurry up, guys, to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Hurry up, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel, guys. Thank you so much for being there. I have a lot of respect of you joining to the stream. Emma, how are you, Emma? Thank you so much for joining, Emma. Aria, how are you, Aria? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Emma, how are you, Emma? Thank you so much for joining, Emma. Where are you from watching there, Emma? Hurry up, guys, to make the like and subscribing the channel and drop a comment, guys. Where are you from watching, my dear? Richard, how are you, Richard? Chazi, how are you, Chazi? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Chazi. How are you, Chazi? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Where are you from watching, my dear? Richard, how are you, Richard? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Richard. I have to respect of you joining, Jerry. Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Jerry. Richard, where are you from watching my screen, Mala? And a lot of respect if you're joining my stream. Please make the like and subscribing the channel and do a super chat on our stream, guys. Yeah, if somebody has to do a super chat, I will write the name with a different color of the pen, guys. And I want to see our donation on our stream. Please ask somebody. James, how are you, James? So, James, thank you so much for joining to the stream. James, love to join, my dear. Sino, how are you, Sino? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Sino. Jan, how are you, Jan? Thank you so much for joining our stream. Please, guys, make the like and subscribing the channel, guys, and to do a super chat on our stream, guys. Right, guys, hurry up to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for being there. I have a lot of respect of you joining to the stream, guys. Thank you so much for being there, guys. Please make the like and subscribing the channel, and don't spam on the screen, guys. Just write your name in the chat. Justin, how are you, Justin? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Justin. How are you, Justin? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Jonas, how are you, Jonas? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Jonas. Where are you from watching, Justin? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Miru, how are you, Miru? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Miru. How are you, my dear? Thank you so much for joining to the stream. Sozofia, how are you, Sozofia? Thank you so much for joining our stream, Sozofia. Where are you from watching, Sozofia? Thank you so much for joining my stream. Happy to see you on there. I like your video. Macro, thank you, Macro. Where are you from watching, Macro? I'm from Turkey. Ryan, thank you so much for joining. Okay, Ryan, thank you so much for joining. You are from Turkey. So you can do a super chat on our stream. Will God, how are you, Will God? Thank you so much for joining to the stream, Will God. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. I'm from Pakistan, Macro. You are from Sweden. Happy to see you from Sweden. Thank you so much for joining to the stream. I have a lot of respect of your joining to the stream, my dear. Okay, guys, I'm going right now off. I will be back within a couple of hours. Okay, guys.